Good morning, Pioneers. My name is Connor Morrison.
And my name is Justice Kelvin. Welcome to the Grit.
On Monday, field hockey suffered a tough loss in overtime against district rival Olentangy Liberty. Boys golf placed 12th at Heritage Golf Course, with Josh Lambert having a career low of 87.
On Tuesday, boys soccer beat Upper Arlington 2-1 with seniors Ryan Forche and Tyler Culver both scoring goals for the Nears. The boys are now 3-0 in league play.
Girls soccer unfortunately lost against Upper Arlington, and girls volleyball won a close match against Olentangy Liberty 3-2. Izzy Scholven almost broke the school record with 50 assists.
Now, let's go over to Alex for an interview with the field hockey forward, Megan Schrader.
Thanks, Justice, and thank you, Megan, for joining us here today. So, how has your season gone so far today?
Our season is going so far so good. Most of our close games we've come out with a win, except for the last two, unfortunately, but we have done a really good job so far.
And so, you guys have 5 games left in the regular season, and what is the team looking to do to capitalize on these last games?
Our main goal is to beat Olentangy because, unfortunately, we lost to Liberty, and so if we could beat Olentangy, it would just make the end a lot better for our season, and they beat Liberty, and so it would just look really good for us.
And what was the team's biggest improvement from last season?
I would say our team's biggest improvement was definitely our team culture. Last year we had some struggles with the team culture, and this year we're all super close and we're all best friends, so it's a super big improvement.
And throughout your high school career, what has been your favorite moment playing field hockey?
Probably last year, my junior year, when we beat Liberty the first game of the season on their field was my favorite.
As a team captain, what is your most important responsibility to kind of keep the team together?
I feel like just making bonds with everyone on the team, no matter if they're a senior and one of my best friends or if they're a freshman and they're new to the team, just making bonds with them.
Thanks for joining us. Now back to the desk.
Yesterday, girls turned district rival Olentangy Berlin.
Volleyball traveled to Hilliard-Davidson last night, sweeping the Wildcats in 3 sets.
Boys soccer traveled to Westerville Central last night, winning 2-1.
Now, welcome to our Pick'em section. We've got a pretty good week of high school football this week, so let's just jump right in with Olentangy Orange versus Davidson. What do you think of this one?
This is the game of the week. Not even trying to be biased because we are here at Orange, but we have 2 4-1 teams coming into this game. Orange just beat Berlin for the first time ever in the history of Orange versus Berlin, which is really, really a great win. They won 35-7-2. The offense looks elite. The only injuries that I've heard on the offensive side of the ball are Jake Hendon is out with a cough. Besides that, they look really strong. The O-line has looked amazing this season. And I think Orange is going to win this game.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a really good game. Both 2 4-1 teams that have played very well throughout the season so far. I think that Hilliard-Davidson will be probably one of our toughest opponents. Obviously, we're coming off a great win against Berlin, but I think that we've had a pretty tough schedule. We've come out with some wins, and I think that if the team just keeps doing what they're doing, our offense has been rolling, our defense has been getting a lot of turnovers, which usually is a good sign and really helps win football games. So I think that Orange should be able to take this one.
And then we got Berlin versus Derby. This is going to be a good game, I think. Berlin has looked pretty good up until the Orange game. They came out and they were able to beat Liberty, which was a really big win for them. Derby has not looked great this season. They lost their quarterback last year, so I think they've really fallen off the football podium. Berlin, I think, is going to get this one pretty handily.
Yeah, I think Berlin should be able to win this one pretty easily. Derby is winless as of right now. And we called the game last year. They run their old wing T style offense, and sometimes it works. Obviously, we let it work. But I think that a lot of teams have kind of learned what their style is and what they do, and probably Berlin will be able to stop them. Yeah.
And then we got Liberty versus Kaufman. We play Kaufman, I believe, next week at Kaufman. I think Liberty's going to get the win. They, in my eyes, right now have been one of the best teams in all of Central Ohio. I think they continue their dominance. They did have that one unlucky game versus Berlin. what they say is on Friday the 13th, so maybe it was just an unlucky game. So I think that they come out and they get the win against Kaufman.
Yeah, I think that, Liberty has been one of the best teams in our division throughout this season so far. We're halfway through, and I think they'll continue to prove that. Kaufman's a good team, but I just think Liberty is overall better. I think that, they have all the strengths that they need in order to beat a relatively, mediocre team like Kaufman.
Yeah, I think the final game that we're going to pick here tonight or this morning, is Olentangy versus Thomas Worthington. Olentangy, they've definitely had some struggles. They don't have Ethan Grunkenmeyer. They don't have their tight end. He went to Cincinnati. So, looking at it, I'm gonna take Olentangy still though. I know even though I just said they lost a lot of players, I do think that they are still a good enough team to get the win. I don't know too much about Thomas Worthington, but I've not seen them on any high rankings or anything like that. So I'm going to go with Olentangy here.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Olentangy. After week 1, they lost their first game, and I think we were very surprised by that, and we kind of didn't really put a lot of attention on them in the following weeks. But they are 4-1. They've won every game since their loss in the first week. Thomas Worthington, another winless team. Should be a pretty easy win for Olentangy. That's all I really got to say about that.
No, I think we should segue into the college football. We only got one huge game this weekend. Alabama versus Georgia. The Bulldogs are I want to say 1-4 against Alabama in the past last 5 games. They're the one team that Georgia cannot seem to be able to beat. What is the big difference going in this game? One man is not on that sideline, and that's Nick Saban. Jalen Milroe is a great quarterback. Carson Beck's a great quarterback. I know we're going to get a great game just from these two players alone. Ryan Williams, wide receiver for Alabama, he's 17 years old. He has looked elite all season. So it's hard for me to go against Alabama, but I am going to go against them. I'm going to pick Georgia. Even though they had some struggles against Kentucky, I do think that they go in there. Their defense has looked elite. They are still the number 2 team in the country as of the AP polls. Give me Georgia, the Bulldogs, to win it. And I think Alabama is going to it'll be a good game, but I do think Georgia comes out and gets the win.
In the words of Pat McAfee, give me Alabama. Because I think that, like you said, Alabama is Georgia's kryptonite. Even without Nick Saban, I think that Alabama's really surprised a lot of people. They thought Nick Saban's gone, and now this kind of dynasty that they had is over. They're not going to be able to win games, and they've proved everyone wrong so far. I think that, like you said, Jalen Milroe, he's playing as of right now as a Heisman candidate quarterback. And I think that the game being played in Tuscaloosa at Alabama really changes the sway of how things will go. That kind of home atmosphere of Alabama is really unbeatable. And just like you said, we just watched Georgia 2 weeks ago struggle against Kentucky and almost go into overtime. They won in the fourth quarter in the last couple minutes. I think that you see that, and you see a lot of flaws with the team, and I think that Alabama, even though they're ranked lower, I think there's some bias towards Georgia as far as the rankings. I think that Alabama will win this one.
All right, I guess we'll have to check in on this next Friday.
Absolutely. The boys take on Hilliard-Davidson tonight for the homecoming game. The theme for tonight's game is Hawaiian. Tailgate starts at 5:30. Be there and be loud.
Now, let's throw over to MC with a look into homecoming.
Into this week's homecoming football game. Let's go.
For the game, I'm most excited for being on the sidelines and cheering for the team. It's been a really fun season this year with our 4-1 winning streak. And I am just really excited, and hopefully we'll have a good outcome for this homecoming game. My favorite parts about the football game are cheering for the fans, as the fans have been really involved this year. And I really enjoy also just watching the games because they've all been very high scoring and entertaining to watch. Yes, I am excited for homecoming this year. I'm going with my friends and I think it's going to be really fun. Before every game, I get ready with my friends and we all go to the school, obviously for the game, and we match the theme, which I always enjoy doing, and we always warm up, and pregame is my favorite part of all of the games.
I'm most excited about the challenge. This is probably the best team we've played. We had a good face-off against Gahanna, but I think Davidson is a little better than Gahanna, so I'm excited for the challenge. My favorite parts are, especially after we win, the excitement, especially in the locker room. Just the whole team celebrating together and showing that bond, that teamwork, and pulling off a win is my favorite part. Definitely one of the better teams we've played so far, if not the best. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a challenge, but I think we can pull it off. I'm pretty excited. I'm not too big of a fan of the dance, but the before and the after parties are always fun. It's always a good time.
Thanks for watching, Pioneers. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, MC. That's all for our show this week. Thank you for tuning into The Grit. I'm Connor Morrison.
And I'm Joseph Colvin. Make sure to watch your Nears in action this week. See you next week on The Grit, and roll Nears.